All right, can you hear us now? Just let me know in the chat if you can hear sound. Can you hear me now? If there's anybody out there, let me know if you hear sound. Okay, I see a couple of yeses. Y'all hear me? All right, going to try to get Chandler back on the line. 1 sec. Perfect. Okay, glad y'all can hear. Hello?
Hello, I don't know what happened.
Who knows? But luckily, everybody says they can hear us now. Where do we
But
where do we leave off? We literally
we,
just talked about Wyatt and medicine.
yeah, we were talking about Wyatt and medicine. Speaking about Wyatt, all right. So these Malone. Okay, first of all, I want to say something about the Malones. How many of these people are there? 186,000.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me that there are a bunch of Malones. I mean, I'm just curious how many are in Savannah because they seem to be like a, countrywide kind of thing where it's something that they're stationed in Savannah, but they have agents, if you will, everywhere. It's just that I know that they're going to be on the move. And even though the whole prospect of a war sounds very intriguing, it just seems a bit crazy that a Malone war would start just because of one black kid, in regards to borrowing money but then wanting to give it back without interest. That doesn't seem like a war worthy catalyst, if you will. When it came to, her grandson being shot at, remember Jim was freaking out about, how much Mama Rose wanted to do just because Mitch was shot at. But now you have a Malone dead. So there's no telling what's going to happen.
Yeah, and about that, okay, they think Benny's killed him, right? They think that Benny's killed him. Now, as far as I know, and as far as I can remember, Jim Cryer has left some fingerprints at the Iron Bone.
Exactly. I feel like they're going to blame it on the black kid, but you got the bartender who was there that night. He might be one to vouch for him in terms of what about that kid that was there who was strung out on drugs? What about him? I feel like Benny is going to be the easiest person to blame. And even if he somehow escapes, which I think he will, because in the trailer from several months ago, you got the scene of Benny and Hannah confronting Candace at the hotel, pushing I think Hannah has a picture of Quincy Jr. She's going to push in her face and be like, this is the kind of mess that your baby got killed over. So I'm guessing that
Yeah,
Benny looks at this account, figures out it's millions of dollars, tells Hannah about it, and then they go to confront her at the hotel. So Benny does get off in some way, shape, or form. In the preview, it looks like he's tackling the Malone to get away, but I don't know. I just feel like the fact that he's the black kid and Vinny is the one that's dead, the Malones will know that it's that black kid, Benny Young. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But I will say that, yeah, the Malones are like so many, just so many. I don't know. It goes back to my nitpick about this season that they're putting in way too many new characters.
Oh well. Oh no, I totally agree. Before we put in new characters, let's get some old storylines resolved first.
Yes, like you finally mentioned the cancer. That's it is not resolved, but it is intriguing that Wyatt knew about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever. I can't pronounce your name, but once they find Jim's fingerprints, it's over for him because the Lady Malone or Mama Rose already threatened him, I agree. And that's bad because Jim was the one that tried to make it look like a fight or whatever. And for me, and I mentioned this before in that video, I know I posted like a good amount of videos, but it was the fact that that guy that came out of the back, I'm guessing we can assume he's a Malone or something like that, or he just simply works for the bar. The fact that he came out after Vinnie yelled a couple times like, hey, my man, you all right? Hey, is anybody back there? Now, if there was some kind of fight, you would think he would have came out earlier to see what was the commotion was instead of instantly blaming the black kid. And it doesn't look good for Vinnie because there's no tape to prove he was the one not to do it because Wyatt took it out of security footage.
You know, what are the odds of that there? It's the Malones. What are the odds that there's another tape there somewhere, like hidden really, really good, so nobody can find it, see it?
You know what? I would like that, but that would make too much sense for this show. I mean, at this point, you got like.
I agree.
And another thing is like, you know what? Speaking of security, let's talk about Veronica and the fact that she has these bugs every. Okay, now here's my thing. I'm trying to put this into words. Okay, David realizing he just had a moment is like, wait a minute, because he figures that Veronica wouldn't show up without a reason. It was putting on a show so she can plant those bugs everywhere. So, a couple things with that. Number one, if he didn't find those bugs, because Veronica didn't go upstairs, she only was downstairs, at least as far as we know. So let's say if David and Erica just stayed upstairs, like he didn't realize there might have been something going on, would Veronica have still set the cars on fire? Or was it something that she did only when he found the bugs and started playing a game of like, oh baby, yeah, touch me there, boom.
I think baby was probably the key. I think that baby, because this is how she kept nitpicking at it about calling her baby. Baby, you've only known her for
like a week.
Just a short time, now you're calling her baby. And now she's probably, baby was the key word to get him to.
Set the cars on fire. But that's my thing, though. It's like, were there any recording devices upstairs? That way she would have heard if the word was used. I know I'm overthinking it, but Veronica has just gotten to a whole new level of ridiculousness. I'm not going to lie. I was crying, laughing at the end of that episode. I was done. That was hilarious. The fact that she was like laughing as she drove off, it was incredible. But at the same time, it's like, at what point is David going to do something? And the video about the Team Arrivals episode, the fact that he's going to be pushed to a point he didn't even know he had. I wonder what's going to happen with that. It's like, in the next episode, Veronica and Candace are, coming up with a plan. So I'm thinking, what could they do at this point that would trigger David?
Exactly. And I don't even think, as far as we know, David has no idea that Candace even has anything to do with any of this.
Oh yeah, exactly. Just as Erica doesn't know that Candace and Veronica are working together. But I did love that nod back to what Veronica told Candace about David being paranoid. And it's for good reason, because of Veronica. It's not so much about Erica that he's paranoid about, because obviously that's not the case, given the fact that he invited her to live with him after only knowing her for a few days. But I just love the fact that he just had a feeling. It's like, wait a minute. Ran downstairs like it was a freaking Easter egg hunt, picking up bugs here and there. I'm just like, wow, that's something else. And another thing is kind of leading back to these characters with these hidden agendas like Candace. I know that Gia mentioned that pimp Rico a while back. Now that Candace is out of the game and Gia's pretty much by herself, so to speak, do you think this means Rico's going to show up at some point?
I do. I think that we might see Rico within the next couple of episodes.
Yeah, especially with the whole Rocky thing. If he gets beaten up by Candace, he might be out for a little while. RK's kind of doing his own thing. So, I think Rico might show up. I still think that Candace is going to try to crawl back to these people, and they want nothing to do with her. Because, given the fact she pretty much is like, yo, I got mine, so you better get yours. I'm out of here. And it's just like, Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that maybe one day Candace is going to need them for something, and they're just going to say, nope, don't want any part of it.
Oh yeah, especially because she's pulling a warlock again, lying about the money. It's just stupid. It's stupid because she's doing the same thing over again. Same thing, and these people are going to come after her. And I love, not to mention Landon and his team are going to be messing up everything she's working on. So yeah, it's going to be a point where she's probably going to try to muscle her way back in, but they ain't going to worry about it. It's like, no. You left, we're doing our own thing, so you better go get yours too. So you just left us high and dry when we needed you. It's like, I think I mentioned this in the video as well. I felt bad for RK because it's just like, you apply for a job because everything looks good. It's like, okay, the boss is a little hard and in terms of, being a hard ass, but the money's good and there's a chance for promotion. And then as soon as you get hired, they quit and the rules change. That's pretty much how I felt when it came to RK. So to have her try to muscle her way back in, it's like, nah, you left us, so you ain't getting in on this. Then it's all about making it so Charles looks like the best and only option because everything that Candace thought she had control of, she has no control of anymore. So that's why she wants to be with Charles. Candace needs to quit counting her eggs before they hatch. Absolutely. I mean, if Candace just kept the money, sat back, and quit the schemes, I think she would be okay. But the fact that she's going to continue on with these plans, because if I'm not mistaken, I'm guessing she still wants to take money from David because that's why Erica's there.
Well, although she told her to put it on the back burner, yes, I do think she still wants to take money from David.
And it's ironic because she was calling RK is like, stop being greedy. And it's just like, are you kidding me? Because if she would have listened to Oscar, it's the same thing about look at the long haul instead of this quick money thing, because you get that quick money, you're going to lose it. But if you play your cards right for 4 years, 8 years as first lady, you'll get a book deal, appearances and all this stuff. I don't want that. It's like, no, I want it now. It's just stupid. It really is. It really is.
Yeah, a lot of the things are like they just don't make any sense. Like Veronica, she has been to the house many times. Well, about 2 or 3 times this season, assaulting and insulting and beating and banging and carrying on. Erica has called the police 2 or 3 times. Don't you think the police are gonna come? Well, we know we're going to see something next week, but
this is a nice neighborhood too, so the cops should come out there instantly. So it's just like,
exactly.
Yeah, it's like broke a window. I'm not even counting all the whole verbal arguments and whatnot. I'm talking about violating her restraining order multiple times, destroying another person's property, trespassing, an extension of the whole restraining order, setting cars on fire. And it's just like, where are the neighbors? You would think there'll be some white neighbors going like, what's the commotion over here? Come on, I'm trying to get some sleep and you're starting a bonfire with your cars. I know you black people, you rappers and whatnot like to blow money and set things on fire, but come on, God. Come on. It's just like,
Could you imagine Veronica showing up and doing that in Pearl's neighborhood?
Lord have mercy. She would set that poor woman's house on fire too.
Yes, she would.
Yeah. And it's just like, alright, don't get me wrong, it's exciting to see this kind of stuff, but at the same time, where's the realistic aspect of a person who's violating the restraining order, breaking laws? Like some people, they just tweet me, it's like, well, Veronica knows all these connections and she's part of the law and all this stuff. Yeah, but at the same time, that's inexcusable. Like, how would you explain this? It's like, you could say that's your house, but then David, well, actually, people know that it's public knowledge that she's getting a divorce. Even Judge Gilman said that when she first came into the office. So everybody knows they're getting a divorce. So her claim like, this is my house and whatnot, her name isn't on the lease. So none of that stuff will work. That's my major problem. When is this going to go public? It's like, I can't even. It's just stupid. Stupid.
I know, and I can't believe that it's almost like she enjoys it.
That's given. Even since the first house burning, she told Katherine, "Like, come on, honey, you know how much I love a good house fire." When she was pouring that gasoline and handed her the match, I loved it. And that's another thing people are talking about. It's like, why hasn't anyone come to investigate the Cryer household fire? I'm like, well, damn, that's a good point. I don't think that's ever been mentioned since it happened.
Well, no, it hasn't. And even the crazy thing about it, remember how Katherine said she was trying to hide all the evidence?
Yeah.
Well, she put all the evidence in storage.
Now I believe that was something that was mentioned while the Cryers and the Harringtons were watching the house burn. Yeah, that's right. David, Veronica, Katherine, and Jim. And it was mentioned in that moment. And ever since that moment, the house fire has not been mentioned at all. And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean,
actually, it was mentioned when Jim came over to Katherine's house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, mentioned in the sense that no authorities or firemen or anything have let's just say there's been no investigation on it, as opposed to casual conversation. And it's sad to say casual conversation because this thing happens a lot on this show.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, let's see here. Hannah's house has burned down. Quincy drove a car through it.
Yep.
Now, Veronica burned her house down.
Yep.
And Katherine and Veronica burned Katherine and Jim's house down.
Then you got the cars.
now David's cars are on fire.
Yeah, and I actually saw Peter Parros had on his Instagram and Twitter like this video of him driving an invisible car, and I'm just like, that he posted that like literally on Tuesday. I'm like, was this like a subtle spoiler to the episode, but it went completely over my head? That was hilarious. I loved it. Dominique. Yeah, I have not seen that Walmart commercial where Jeffrey's in it. I have not seen it. So I will definitely look that up later today, though. Because apparently that's been the talk over the past few days about Jeffrey being in a Walmart commercial like a family man. I'm just like, no. Because really, I don't watch commercials unless they are YouTube ads that I can't skip over. And that's about it. Unless I'm at home with the folks and I'm watching TV, I don't really see commercials.
I've heard that Jeffrey's, I've heard it's supposed to be good, but I don't know. Now, speaking about Jeffrey and Justin, I can't wait to see what Veronica has up her sleeve for Justin. I mean, I had to laugh when she was screaming at the top of her lungs the other day. When she was just like, oh.
It's just like, it got to the point where in the early seasons, it was about Veronica not accepting that Jeffrey's gay. But now it's just like you don't even believe it when it's right there in front of your eyes. And that's why I'm rolling my eyes at this in terms of like you've seen him kiss Landon in front of you. So if Landon was still in the picture, would you have been blaming Landon for making your son the way he is now and the fact that you can fix it? So I'm guessing that Veronica's is representing parents out there who think they can fix their child because something is wrong with them for being gay. I'm just trying to put it in a social sense in the world that we live in today, because there are parents like Veronica that disown their children or threaten them or just won't accept that they're gay, just saying that it's a phase they're going through. So, but she has it just dialed up to like 11 and then some. Because I loved how even Justin and Jeffrey were kind of like scoffing at the fact that Veronica is saying these ridiculous things. It goes back to when David came over after, Jennifer was killed and was patching up Katherine because she had a gash on her arm. And then Veronica's freaking out. It's like, I get it. You two have been working against me this whole time to get rid of me. And it's just like, are you freaking serious right now? Like, I want to know how her brain works. That's what I want to know.
I was talking to somebody and they suggested this theory to me. I don't know how to take it, but this is, how crazy Veronica is. What if Veronica and Justin are working together, and Veronica is setting up Jeffrey by having Justin push himself on Jeffrey to see how far he'll go.
That is a very twisted, but I doubt that's likely, but it is a very well thought out strategy because it all goes back to Jeffrey being put into a position. It's kind of like, if anything, Veronica and Jeffrey is kind of like Charles and Candace. Like, both of them want to put, Jeffrey and Candace in a situation where they're going rogue. Jeffrey being homosexual, hey Cassandra, not living a closeted life. And then you have Veronica is like, look, I'm giving you an opportunity, a decent looking girl who's carrying your baby, and you can carry on the family name the way I want you to. And then Charles is like, Candace is like, you don't have to be on these streets. I'll clear your past. You can come with me as the first lady. We'll have a good life together. And we have Charles pretty much wanting to sabotage all of Candace's plans. Then you have Veronica wanting to sabotage Jeffrey's hopes of being a free homosexual. So in a way, that theory does make sense, but I don't think it's likely. I've heard of Claws, but I have not watched it. Hello? We need parents like Veronica. Peter, can you explain that? Yeah, I miss Jennifer, Maggie, Amanda, and I wish Warlock would have stuck around longer before he went, psycho. Candace should take the offer, but I don't think she deserves it.
No, I don't think she deserves it either. After all she's done.
No, it would just seem. What kind of message? All right, don't get me wrong. Like, there's been some crooked people currently in the White House and even before Trump. But at the same time, it's like, what kind of message would Tyler Perry be saying? It's like, if you whore yourself out enough, you can become first lady. You can extort millions of dollars. Not to lie, that is real life. People do that. But it just seems like something unlike any of his previous works in terms of, there's a method behind his writing, but come on now. Yeah, Dominique Charles is starting to get obsessed with Candace. It's just a whole new level of ridiculousness. It's kind of like in the comic books how Lex Luthor becomes president despite all the crimes against humanity he has done. But then you have this dude running for the presidency and he wants to go after this street whore. It's like, are you kidding me?
I know, right? It's just so unrealistic. And, I wonder if this... I guess Charles knows everything. I think Charles, it seems like he's watching her every move. Like he's just...
I still want to know who his contact at the hotel is.
I'd say that it's probably... It's either Broderick, Rocky, Arcade, or Gia. I think it's one of those four.
Yeah. Oh, Cassandra, Veronica is that parent from back in the day. I will beat whatever that is right out of you. Or I will beat whatever is not right out of you. That seems to be true. I think Veronica said maybe this was after Jeffrey stabbed her. It's like, if I was strong enough, I would beat this gayness out of you myself. I think she said that.
And you know what else interested me? Well, when Jeffrey said, "Do you, I put a knife in you one time. You want to do that again?" I thought for sure that Veronica was going to come back with some kind of threat, like, "Oh, you better not," or if you know what's good for you, you won't do that. She didn't say a word.
Yeah, I feel like it had to do with the whole seeing two guys in front of her, because early on, just mentioning or hinting at the fact that, Candace and a few other people even hinted at the fact that they knew that Jeffrey was gay. That's how you instantly shut her up. Now it's kind of like just seeing the act of two men in front of her freaks her out. And yeah, you're right. I think that after, the stabbing, she was just like, if you ever raise a hand at me again, boy, your next visitor will make Quincy seem like a cakewalk or something like that. So yeah, her threat was like, there will be somebody even worse at your front door. So that's weird. And then I love it. I came here out of the goodness of my heart so you can sign these papers. Again, it's only for your own gain because Vinnie pissed you off.
Well, first of all, I still want to know what caused him not to sign the papers in the first place.
Bro, I don't even want to get into it because it makes no sense. Because you literally had the scene of him saying he would do it, her turning around and smiling. Then in the next episode, oh, she wanted me to sign those papers. Yeah. What?
And then she goes, and then this is when you know she's sick. She's like, oh, you're screwing Vinnie too? I'm like, come on, Veronica. Really?
Again, it goes back to the whole, everybody's out to get me. Everybody's teaming up. It's just, yeah, I honestly forgot she said that because I literally was rolling my eyes at that scene just like Justin and Jeffrey. So we got crazy Veronica out here thinking everybody is against her, teaming up. And it's like if my son is kissing one man, he has to be kissing all these men. Oh, God. Okay, let's talk about Justin. It's kind of short and sweet here. Still a lunatic. Still, I mean, him being this obsessive is just crazy. I guess that's an oxymoron, but... Yeah, go ahead.
I will have to admit, though, when he was saying, I love you, and we're going to be together, and let me go cook some dinner, I was just laughing. I'm like, really? Really? I'm
like, yeah, and then in the next episode, Landon's going to be calling Jeffrey. He's going to be talking about how he's still in love with Wyatt, and then it's like, I'll kill the both of you before he can have you, and it's like, well, that's Fatal Attraction if I've ever seen one, but still.
Now, was Justin talking about Wyatt or Landon?
That I don't know due to the fact that, unless Jeffrey tells him Landon was on the phone, he wouldn't know. But he does say out loud that I'll always be in love with Wyatt. So you could say that, who was that calling you? Oh, that was Landon. And it's like, that's the guy you choked in the bed that one time. But it's kind of weird, though, because the fact that I'm pretty sure Justin creeping around would hear him say that he still loves Wyatt. And Justin still believes that Wyatt is gay. So, yeah, he would probably try to kill them both. But
what about Jim?
Who's that, Jim?
Yeah, what about him? He's on to Justin too now. So I'd say he's watching him very carefully.
Oh yeah, remember a few live streams ago we discussed that. It's just like you got Jim, Veronica, and David all aware that Justin is bad news. So the question is, who's going to get rid of him? And then I still say, in a poetic justice kind of thing, it wouldn't surprise me if Jeffrey would be the one to kill him. Because if he's pushed into a corner, we've seen it before, how violent he can be if he's pushed into a corner. Because just like David, and it goes back to, okay, how far is David going to be pushed before he lashes out? And when he does, what exactly is he going to do? Same thing with Jeffrey. It's like, he's slow to anger, but if you push him too far, it's a wrap.
I really wish that Jeffrey hadn't have told David to let Justin go. You know what? If it were me, I'd be saying, come on, Dad, let's just get rid of him. I'm sick of this.
No. If he was a real father in terms of being, like, yo, I'm protecting my son. Like, my son, look, I know my marriage to your mother wasn't the best and I was a bad example, but I'm going to do what's good for you, even though you say you can handle it. I'm going to put this guy away now. That's what should have happened, regardless of what Jeffrey would have said.
And in an extension of that, I still can't understand why David told Jeffrey exactly where he was going to be going, and Justin literally right there.
Yeah, like I said before, it should have been something discussed on their way home. Justin probably would have looked it up regardless, but at the same time, you know what? If I were David, I would have had somebody watching, Jeffrey at the condo, seeing if he was followed, especially Justin. He could have easily said, let me know if my wife Veronica or this white cop is following my son. it's just ridiculous, the fact that not only did he open the door, but then he just gave in to Justin, and it goes back to, look, I had a moment of weakness, and I'm just like, Jeffrey, you've had plenty of those. Like in the interrogation room and stuff like that. To be fair, well, actually, yeah, I mean, that was Justin being a dog, you know, putting him in a sleeper hold, assaulting him physically. But at the same time, after getting out of jail, Jeffrey, it's like all on you. Like, you're the one that opened the door and all this stuff. Like, you could have called the police or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe it's a Kelly and Travis situation from Loving You Is Wrong.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Travis, because, Kelly was all, she was all open the door. She let him stay, she wanted him to take his clothes off, and then they were getting ready to do what they were going to do, and she just shot him.
Well,
5 times.
Well, unlike Jeffrey, she didn't give a chance for Travis to make dinner or get in bed with her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey might eat the dinner, and then they might go to bed, and then Jeffrey, that might be when he just snaps.
It's just like a whole new level of, okay, I understand it because it's real life, because there are situations where if parents are in a toxic relationship, or, one parent is easily walked all over or cheats on their spouse or in this abusive relationship, sometimes the child will get into a similar relationship later in their life. That is true. I've seen it. It is fact. But for Jeffrey to willingly do this with a cop that's literally physically assaulted him, Jeffrey probably saw Veronica and David when he was younger in some bad situations, but not like what he's in. This is just way too ridiculous.
I don't think Veronica assaulted David or raped him or whatever.
Exactly. And it's just like, yeah, you love Wyatt, but he's not gay, and then all this other stuff. Like, to be honest, if there was anybody I wanted to see Jeffrey with, it probably would have been Landon, just to throw it out there.
Me too.
Yeah, and it goes back to even way back to like season 2 or 3. My thought was, I always liked it when Jeffrey and Wyatt were friends, because they were friends growing up. Wyatt needs a good friend because he needs help to get off his addictions and whatnot, and Jeffrey was that guy. It was just weird when you had him pining after Wyatt and creeping on him and stuff like that. Then you have Landon when Jeffrey's coming out of the closet trying to become his true self, because Jeffrey helped bring the best out of Wyatt, whether or not he wanted to admit it, just as Landon was kind of like the person that brought the best out of Jeffrey in terms of, look, not only am I a person that wants to help you become your true self, but I've been where you are now, and I want to help you come to realize who you really are. So that's how I feel about that.
And you know what? If Justin could just calm down and stop being so crazy, maybe Jeffrey would be willing to do the same thing for him.
Exactly. It's just like he even said in the episode before last, like, you need to get help. Well, you can help me. No, it has to be somebody else. And that's true for a therapist standpoint, because when you got a patient falling in love with a therapist, it gets really crazy afterwards. But that's my thing too. The fact that just because Jeffrey is the first person to make you feel this way, you want to be with him for life. I'm like, yeah, that's a bit way too strong. Like, no.
Yeah. And remember how Justin came in and tried to attack Wyatt?
Yeah. And I think what was it? He almost shot Wyatt or Jeffrey or one of them. I know Jeffrey had a gun pointed at Justin. And
I mean when Jim walked in.
Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
Could you imagine what would happen if it had been Katherine to walk in?
That would have been it. She would have killed him. I don't know how, but either not in that moment, but she would have found him. Hey Tony, how's it going? Yeah, at some point she would have made him disappear. That's it. Enough said.
I'm just ready to, Justin. I'm just ready for something to be done.
I am too, but the big question would be, what would you do? Not that, but what would they be doing with Jeffrey as a character? That's my major question, because the one thing that I don't like about this show now is that you have these characters put into the same damn role every season. Oh, Jeffrey is going to be the victim of Veronica or somebody else like Justin, or Wyatt's going to be strung out on drugs again, or Benny's going to get into a mess of trouble when he wasn't the one that, did whatever crime it was. It's just the same damn story all the time. Candace has another scheme and she's going to blackmail people. And now this season takes it to a new level where you're just throwing in like 20 new characters. And I don't know. Like I said before, just in sidebar for a moment. I think I told you or a few other people, Love is coming on the 19th. I hope that show is a hit because I'm jumping.
I do too. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, because I've seen, and I got a video coming up where I'm going to do like a trailer breakdown because I looked at all the videos on the OWN network. I follow like the main stars of the show. The guy that's playing the black guy who's playing the main character, he played Lala on Black Lightning, which ironically enough was produced by the same people making this show, and it's their love story. So as soon as I saw Lala, I'm like, you know what? I want to give it a shot. But then looking at the trailers, the music is cool because I know some of them songs. The fact that it's going to take place in the 90s up into 2027. So to me, and I mean, I could be wrong here, but based off what I've been seeing, number one, we know for a fact this is based on a true story, meaning that I can watch this show and enjoy it instead of having to dissect it like the haves and have-nots. That's one. That's one plus. Number two, honestly, I can't remember the last time I've sat back and watched like a romance series, like willingly watched a series like that. So that's another plus, number two. Number three, the fact that this could be like the black version of This Is Us, and we know how big that show is. And and then if I jump aboard this show as soon as it starts and do videos on it, that'll be a major plus for the channel. Not to mention that it's on OWN just like the Have, so that's another big thumbs up right there. And then being that I follow these celebrities on social media, I know that I think yesterday they had some kind of film festival and they were showing the first few episodes. I know like Lance Gross, aka Calvin Payne, he was on Instagram like, look, I saw the first 4 episodes of Love Is and I'm already addicted. My new favorite show. Yeah, and the fact that he's on Star and he said that this is my new favorite show, it looks good. It looks promising. I want to say that.
I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, because if anything, the fact that it's such a, it looks like such a story-driven show that's based on real life. Just the estimation here, it seems like the kind of show where I don't have to do a bunch of videos each week. If anything, I can just do like episode reviews, sharing thoughts, and talking with people. So that's another plus. That way I don't have to do a slew of videos. It'll just be a nice side show I can do videos on. But yeah, hopefully that show is grounded. It seems to be. That way I don't have to worry about the whole craziness of the haves and the have-nots. I feel like I get more headaches watching this show because it's just like, how much time has passed? It's crazy. When are these people going to get arrested for these crimes? Like I said in the last video, the guy that came out, it was like, oh, we don't open until 7. So you're telling me that over the past 3 episodes, 1 hour hasn't even passed by? Because remember, Derek met Hannah outside of the front of the house because she got off at 6. Then she had time to talk with Derek, go home, talk with Melissa, talk with Vinnie briefly, start dinner. Her and Derek sit down and watch TV, and Benny's at the bar. So you're telling me like 45 minutes have passed, and we don't even know what Derek and Hannah watched. We don't know if it was a TV show or a movie. So, y'all watch Greenleaf and Queen Sugar? Not on the regular, but I do, and I'm probably going to do videos once the show comes on in August, but yeah.
Yeah, now I will say that in Queen Sugar, I don't watch those regularly either, but I've heard some of the music, and some of the music that they put in some of those episodes is quite phenomenal.
Exactly, like for the people out there who are listening that watch Black Lightning, that was one major plus for me. All the songs I knew because I grew up listening to them. Like, I'm not a fan of current music. Like, I'm not a fan of it. But Timmy Turner being put in the finale of Black Lightning when they're fighting the guards and whatnot, and then Tobias Wells at the ASA, that was awesome. I love it that way. But in terms of current music, I'm not a big fan. Melrose, Have and Have Nots is going around in circles, and the story is not going anywhere different. Yes and no. They're using the same characters and the same plots, but I will admit that the stakes are higher this season. But the problem is, even though you have higher stakes, when you have the same characters doing the same damn thing over and over again, but different characters are involved, it makes me go to sleep. Like, it's the same thing. It's like Candace is getting in the same scenario. I'm not feeling it.
But I am glad that we have some, like, we got the whole situation with the Malones and Vinnie and Wyatt and the whole money thing. You know, that's going to be an interesting storyline. And another, in the trailer, don't we see a scene like the extended trailer we got back on March 13th? Isn't there a scene where Jim goes to sit down at the Iron Bone?
I don't remember that from my screenshots. The only scenes of that were where he's there with Wyatt, where he's looking down and sees the body and whatnot. I'll go back through my pictures, but I don't remember that specific scene.
Well, maybe maybe that's the one I'm thinking about. But let's talk about Jim Cryer for a minute. Isn't it just so funny? Because once the show, when the show started, he was all in this position of power and this, and it was like he was in the living high in the hall. Now he's just like beggar man.
If anything, Jim is just like Charles, a man that seemingly has it all, but is just willing to throw it away for a street whore. With Jim, it makes kind of more sense because, number one, we knew he was a dog. I mean, as the show went on, we learned that he's always been a sex hound, so we know that to be true. But at the same time, you can blame it on he just turned 50, he's going through a midlife crisis and all this and that. So it makes sense in a way because even David called him out for this crap. It's like, are you willing to throw it away for this girl? Because back in the day, you would have just snuffed her out because you can see deception coming from a mile away. So it makes more sense for him to be like, you know what? I don't really care about being governor and being, a celebrity in the public eye and all this crap. And he's willing to just throw it away for this girl that's just like him. But with Charles, it's just like, it makes no sense. There's nothing behind. I have no reason to know why he's doing this. Because as Landon said, sir, excuse me for being rude, but what the hell did she do to you? I was laughing so hard at that.
Yeah, the whole Charles, sometimes it's just aggravating for me to see him on the screen. Because all he's saying is, what's she doing now? Where is she now? Is she doing this? Is she doing that? It's kind of aggravating. It's kind of frustrating.
Did she say anything about me? You see how high school this is, middle school? It's ridiculous. It's just like, bro, I don't want this guy running the country, man. If he's willing to throw it all away for a whore, who knows? What if
even Jim is not that possessive over people, or and when Jim got, Jim had his little power phase and his little situations, but it seemed like after he got out of the war room in season 3, for a very brief moment there, for half a season, he really rose to. I mean, he was kicking ass. I mean, he got those guards. He had those guards murdered. He went to jail to rough up those guards and basically tell them what it was.
Yep.
He beat Professor Cannon's ass in a parking lot. I mean, he was.
But
he was really had a.
But
power streak.
But you know what? I feel like that came from. I feel like after Amanda died, all bets were off. Like, he didn't give a damn about Candace anymore, and him and Katherine kind of teamed up briefly, which was great to see. And even though it's kind of like. Even though they worked together well as a team, like, Katherine was there to put Jim in check. It's like, when he's beating the crap out of Cannon, it's like, no, not like this. And to this day, I still want to know what she would have done to Cannon, because she's like, not here, not like this. Okay, then what would you have done? And then on the flip side, you got Katherine being put in check by Jim, even though he was still in jail, and she killed Jennifer. But to see those two work together is something I would love to see happen. Because even though you can kind of argue they're working together with to get Wyatt under control, Jim is still working in the shadows, like claiming that he has the money. I love the look on his face when Katherine was like, well, at least you have the money. And Jim was just like, yeah.
Do you think that Jim is going to kill Oscar? Because, you know, he was pretty... Oscar was like, don't be playing these games. And Jim was like, had that look on his face. Was like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I don't want Oscar to be killed off for that because, number one, Candace... No. I mean, to be smart, Jim would know that he would need Oscar alive to get the money back, for one. But then for number two, it's just like, is Oscar too embarrassed to say that Candace got the money from him? That's one thing. And then in the next episode, I'm guessing that Candace has another female in her room because it looks like we're getting a perspective from like a person looking through the peephole of their hotel door that's across from Candace's, because Oscar is knocking on the door. We see Candace look through the peephole, and then when the door is open, he's just like, wait, do you know the lady that had this room before you did? So I'm guessing that Candace is going to pull, a fake out to make it seem like she moved hotel rooms, which I'm guessing she does do after Oscar comes looking for her.
Yeah, I think that's what it's gonna do.
Yeah.
And you know, once Jim finds out that Candace took the money,
here we go again.
Same old war, same people. Somebody's gonna get caught in the crossfire again. Somebody's gonna retaliate. Oh, it's just a never-ending, just round and around and around. What a tangled web we weave when one practices to deceive. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I remember when this show. Oh, real quick, Jeremy, when Tyler goes to Viacom, are you going to do reviews on the shows there or find another show? If the shows are good, I will do reviews. If they are good shows, not crappy ones, I will definitely chime in. I feel like I'll be busier, which is good for me, and the channel will become more diverse, which I would love that. But yeah, going back to the Tangled Web thing, when this show had simplicity. There were complex theories and whatnot, but there was a simplicity about it that made it seem realistic because this kind of stuff goes down today. But and I'm talking like seasons maybe 1 through 3 with a dash of season 4. But I loved it because it all boiled down to Jim and Candace. Now it's just like, I don't even really see the relation between the two. Yeah, because Candace took Jim's money, well, Wyatt's money, which was really Jim and Katherine's again. But I don't even look at it from that perspective because Jim is kind of an afterthought in this. True, it's his account numbers, but really that was Wyatt's inheritance that he took. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Jennifer allowed him to have it, but it really doesn't grab me as a Jim and Candace war thing. It's just Candace being a greedy whore again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and when Jim finds out, when Jim finds out that Candace took this money, Katherine's probably gonna find out too. And this time, I think that she might step in and say, "Okay, since you're not gonna handle her, I will." That's going to be the end of Candace, maybe.
This is one thing I don't want to happen, and that's the friendship of Katherine and Hannah being put on the rocks again, either because Vinnie's going to be blamed for the murder that Wyatt committed, or the whole Candace taking money from the criers again. And the one thing I have a problem with, one thing you notice is the fact that Katherine doesn't seem to want Wyatt to get off the hook for this murder. So that's very interesting to me.
Well, she didn't want Wyatt really to get off the hook for his other crime either. She wanted him to pay.
That was really more so after Hannah was talking with, I think that's when Hannah got arrested, by Tony thinking she took Vinnie's body, but then Katherine bailed her out. And if I'm not mistaken, at that time, it was right after Hannah had called the police saying that Wyatt Cryer was the one that hit Vinnie and little Lizzie. So that's when Jim and Katherine came down to pick her up out of jail, and Jim was pissed the hell off, and he walked off somewhere, and then Katherine and Hannah were talking. And, you know, at that point, Hannah was just like, well, your son needs to pay for the crime he committed. And it wasn't until after that talk when Katherine was talking with Jim about maybe we should let him pay for his crime. And Jim was like, oh, hell no. Because up until that point, Katherine wanted her son to be free. But now it's kind of like, after seeing all that Wyatt has done, it's like, okay, maybe it is time for him to pay for his crime. So that's what's...
You know, I can understand that, but you know what? I don't... Surprisingly enough, and see, this kind of surprised me, I don't think Katherine understands the full intensity of these Malones.
Okay, that was something else I was about to bring up. I was a bit shocked that she didn't know. I mean...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was kind of... Because it's the Malones and it's the mob, and I'm like, you know, you should know the intensity and the lengths that these people will go to just to prove their point.
I mean, to be honest, when Haunted by a Surname, when Mitch dropped his last name to Veronica to help out Vinnie, she was like, oh, okay, I'm alone. And then even Katherine had that talk with him about it. I'm just like, okay, yeah, Veronica and Katherine both know who the Malones are and what they're all about. But yeah, I mean, even if you go back to a couple episodes ago when Katherine was like, he owes this drug dealer money. Do you think they'll hurt? They'll hurt him? No, Katherine, they'll give him milk and cookies. Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, Katherine, I understand that you're a mother in this situation, being concerned, but you don't think a drug dealer wouldn't hurt your child because he owes them money? That's kind of odd. And
that's why I think it's time to have a mother-to-mother conversation between Katherine and Rose.
I would love that. I feel that would be great to see. I feel like this will boil down to the whole Vinnie murder, whether if Vinnie's still the guy being blamed for it, or Katherine steps up and is like, look, my son was the one that killed Vinnie. And then they had that talk. Because Mama Rose is going to show up. It isn't confirmed, but I think it goes without saying that we wouldn't have had Mama Rose being brought up at the beginning of this season by David and Jim if she wasn't going to come back. And then you had the whole situation of, I'm guessing Mitch's relative, I'm just going to say his cousin, telling him that, you know, this is going...
His name was Sandy.
Sandy.
Oh,
Sandy. Like, you know, the fact that he mentioned to Mitch that the black kid borrowing money went all the way up to the top where grandma is. So Mama Rose is going to show up, without a doubt, especially with Vinnie being dead. Oh, excuse me, allegedly being dead. Because, I mean, It looks like it's Sweet Baby Ray barbecue sauce on the floor beside him, but he's probably still not dead. That makes no sense.
No, and what are you going to do? How... could you imagine him, you know, they're ready to take him and do whatever they're going to do with him, and he says something, or he wakes up, or...
I'm sorry. If he's alive, then that I call complete bullshit. I cannot believe that. I mean...
I can't believe it either.
Quincy, I'll give it a pass, because, number one, he wasn't alive for that long when he regained consciousness, because when you lose that much blood... obviously, you're going to fall unconscious. But then with Vinnie, yo, you got stabbed right in the freaking throat, neck area. That's a vital area. That's why that blood was so thick and black like tar. It wasn't like the usual red. But, yeah, to have him alive would make no sense. You can make the argument, well, he's only been on the floor for like an hour or so, but then that makes no sense because he woke up Wyatt the next morning. But I'm not even going to talk about that episode because I've already did my rant about time in this. So, yeah, for him to still not be dead makes no sense whatsoever. I wanted him to stick around a little bit longer, but, yeah, that makes no sense.
Well, and then for Mama Rose, you know, what's she going to, you know... It's just going to be interesting to see.
Bro, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just thought about it. I want you because, number one, I was about to make another joke about the police was like what Erica called the police on Veronica multiple times, but we still haven't seen them. So we have this guy calling the cops to come down to the Malone bar. What if the cops eventually show up? Oh, Jesus, what they need to do is have the cops show up or whatever, and maybe the cops will be, the Malones own the cops. That much we do know. Some of the cops are even Malones themselves, hence why Mitch called those cops to set up Warlock to get arrested. What if the cops are there, a couple of cops, either they're Malones or not, and then out of the shadows, just like at the hospital, we have Mama Rose roll up. That's what I'm talking about. Who the hell did this? Yes, I want that to happen.
Let's have that. If we don't have it next week, let's have it the week after.
Bro, yeah, have it in the preview. I mean, honestly, you don't have to have it in the preview, but just have like a 3 or 10-second scene of Mama Rose going the hell off. Like she's ready to set this city on fire.
Get the son of a bitch who did this, and I want it done right now.
And the irony behind it? Vinnie was the one that told Mama Rose what she wanted to know at the hospital because Mitch didn't want to tell her. He was like, it's Warwick. He gave her the address and everything, and now he's going to be the one that's blamed for this murder. Irony at best. I hope the bartender is there to vouch. I don't know if he can get Vinnie off, but he can make the case that, well, there was this kid here who had money and whatnot. I mean, he had a nice car and everything, and he was on drugs. I mean, he wanted drugs, so it could be him. But it's not going to look good for Vinnie because he has $45,000 on him.
Wow. Yeah. Now, what if he pays the debt?
My issue with that, okay, as a viewer, we know things that the guy that holding the gun on Vinnie doesn't. Number one, Vinnie wanted to return the money. The Malones are aware that Vinnie was thinking about returning the money based off Mitch going to see Sandy. The thing is, they might blame Vinnie for the murder because he wanted to return the money, but Vinnie wouldn't have it, so they got into a fight, and as a result, Vinnie killed him. But on the other hand, it's like, if he pays off the debt, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, we don't know how the Malones work, but people have been saying, oh, he's going to use that money Candace put in his account to pay his way from being murdered. I don't know how I feel about that because even though they're a mob gangster family, you might argue that, paying off millions of dollars would be a way of saving your life. I could see that, but as a show of respect, I feel like I don't think they would take the money. I don't know.
I don't think they would either, but here's what I don't want to happen. I really hope that Vinnie does not kill this other Malone guy because then he will be screwed.
Exactly, because he's not going to be cleaning up fingerprints or anything.
No. Hopefully that Malone guy will get up.
Vinnie has an alibi. There's no way he could have committed a murder in such a short time. I don't want to say that it's because of a short time. My issue with that is the fact that if there was an altercation, that guy should have heard it, especially because Jim, quote unquote, Jim was trying to make it look like a fight broke out. So you're telling me you didn't hear any kind of fight going on? Did you have your earbuds in or something like that? Like for 3 minutes?
Maybe he wasn't even there. Maybe he came right after they left or something.
Are you talking? No, I didn't mean the when Wyatt and Vinnie were going at it. I meant like when Vinnie showed up and Vinnie was on the floor, and I'm just like, if you're accusing Vinnie, it's just like, why didn't you hear anything going on? It's just crazy, and yeah, there's no way that Vinnie is alive. People love Quita. I want Quita to show up again too. That would be great. I mean. But my problem is they're just getting way too crazy with these storylines that the characters who I want to see come back aren't coming back because we got like 10 new characters on screen that I really don't want to see.
Like Celine. I do want her to come back, and I do think that she's going to eventually. But I think that things are too hectic for her to come back now.
Yeah, I agree. It's just way too much because it's always going back to the early have and have not seasons. It's kind of like whenever David and Jim would get out of one mess, here comes something out of the woodworks. I like that. But now you got these elaborate schemes and storylines and murders and crimes that bringing back Celine with her 2 sons seems a bit irrelevant to me because there's just so much going on. I would love her to come back. I would love Tony to come back. Hell, I want Michael to come back. But there's just way too much going on right now for that to happen. In a reasonable scenario, that is.
Exactly. and Mama Rose, when do you think anybody's gonna even search or dig for fingerprints or do anything with? Because if they will, I know they'll find fingerprints. They'll find Jim's fingerprints.
Bro, they will, but I doubt that's going to happen right off the bat because it's going to be too easy to blame the black kid. Because number one, they know that they didn't want to do business with a black guy anyway. But then it's like, okay, now one of their own was killed, was seemingly a black guy. Yeah, I mean, you look at America now, you're guilty until proven innocent. And at this point, he's going to be found guilty until proven innocent. But the fact that we do have that scene where he's with Hannah at the hotel with Candace lets me know that he's not going to die. So that's one thing. But I feel that it's maybe I want to see Benny's going to escape. We know that to be true. I want to know when word gets back to Mitch. That's what I want to know. If he checks in on Benny to see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, because I think that Mitch will try to vouch for him at least.
Yeah, but then Sandy and them will probably show up and be like, "Yo, we knew this black kid was nothing but trouble." And it's like, "Yo, call grandma, tell her what happened." Oh shit. Yeah, it's going down. Kid.
Jim and David. See, they're already in the doghouse with Mama Rose anyway.
Yeah, and it's a shame because it's going to be one of those scenarios if Jim's fingerprints are found. It's not that he had a hand in the murder. It's the fact that he tried to cover it up that's going to piss her off. And it's just like, I love it because anytime Jim gets in trouble, he tells David, "How are we going to get out of this?" And I can see David like, whoa, I had nothing to do with this.
Exactly.
Man. I want to know why Candace is beating Rocky with the golf ball. Golf ball. Yeah, I feel that it's probably going to be because she finds out that Oscar and Rocky have been talking. And remember, she told Rocky not to tell anybody about this little operation. So he's going to be in trouble.
He might not make it to the end of this season.
I doubt it because, like I said before, if something happens to Rocky, then Broderick got to find out. Like if he comes to work banged up or something, then the other shoe's going to drop and everybody's going to team up against Candace. But that's one thing that's going to piss me off if like Rocky, Vinnie are killed. It's like, look, I want to see some of these major characters. Let me just say like second, like B tier characters like Justin and Erica or Melissa die, because these like one-off characters who have shown up for not even half a dozen episodes, for them to be the ones to killed off, I feel like would be a huge disappointment for a season where it's not who but how many will die. For it to be these characters who weren't even major players, that will piss me off.
Well, I could just about bet. I'm not so sure. I mean, I would say yes for Melissa and Justin too, but I could just about bet money that Erica is not going to last at least past the mid-season finale.
Oh, yeah. I don't disagree with that. I mean, the fact that we can estimate that this show is going to end this season at the end of July or early August, we can estimate that we got about 7 or 8 more episodes before they go on break until January. I feel that there are characters who I think will die, characters who I want to die, and characters who should be killed off. Because, like, I want to know what the hell that Jim wants Sarah for. Because apparently this is the last time he'll need a favor. But it's like, if you have all the evidence, then what do you need her for? Does it have something to do with the murder that just took place? I don't know.
Well, I was looking on IMDb, and they've got Sarah all the way up into like 44th episode.
Well, damn. Yeah, I thought she might be killed off if George found out what was going on, but I don't know. It's like we haven't even seen him.
Where the hell is George anyway?
Like,
I don't even know.
I mean, I know in that one trailer, like her, George, Sarah, a cop were sitting at the jail or standing at the police station. I thought that had something to do with Jeffrey. Nope, we haven't seen that scene yet. So maybe in a couple episodes we will, but I don't know. And then IMDb doesn't always give us a full character listing, so it's hard for me to estimate who's going to show up when. I mean,
exactly.
These episodes have been intriguing, but there are just still some things that I really want to see info on. It's like, I can only tolerate so much time at the Artesian Hotel with these people in these prostitution rings. It's like, I want to know about these important storylines, like murders and house burnings.
Yeah, I one of the main things I want to see. I want to see the Jennifer Salison trial. Now,
Bro, we're not going to see any of these trials until maybe the middle, around maybe this time in 2019 or in 2020. I'm calling it now. There's no way they're going to get to these trials at the pacing they're moving now. Come on.
no, there's no way. And I hope that the trials are not like the last episodes of the series.
They better not treat the trials like the Amanda funeral, where it's something that's been built up for a while, but we only see them exiting the cemetery. Where it's just like, we see him in court, and then they come out of court, and then the epilogue is what happened. No, that would be so disappointing.
Well, an epilogue is something I do want to happen.
Epilogue, yes, but I don't want an easy fix with a montage. There are just some things I feel deserve 2 or 3 episodes. Like, I would love for that stuff to happen. And then it's like, wait, I'm trying to think what else is there to talk about. I mean, I feel like I've talked Derek into the ground in regards to my videos. Like, the major thing, the video I'm going to be working on before Tuesday is the whole, I love the idea of Derek's father being the guy with the lion tattoo, but he's passed away. And there's just a picture that he shows Hannah either at his house or, you know, in his wallet or something like that. And then she freaks out. I would love for that to be written into the show. But other than that, I feel like I've just talked so much about the whole Derek lion tattoo thing that I really have nothing else to say. Until next week, the big question is, what is he going to do when Veronica puts the moves on him? That's what I want to know.
I hope he's smart and says, nope.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't want that to be on his list of strikes against him, because every episode we're getting a strike in regards to him being the guy with the tattoo based off evidence. But yeah, leave Veronica alone. Just make her, oh my God. What if the fact that Derek turns her down is a reason that she escalates the plan with David that makes him, you know, unleash a side he didn't even know he had? So she might, because even though her and Candace come up with plans, we know her being unstable as she is, she probably does something even more drastic.
Exactly. What if it's, isn't it ironic that Derek's last name is also David?
Irony, it really is. It's like Mr. and Mrs. David. Yeah, that would be pretty weird.
Derek and Hannah David. I mean, could you see that? Could you see Veronica David? Oh.
Nah, I don't. Golly. I mean, the fact that she's calling Mo for a broken washer, I'm like, what time is it? I mean, isn't Derek off the clock? What's going on here? I was like, are you going to claim it's like, oh no, it's like the washer's broken and water's everywhere? I don't know. It's like, you got to be an emergency for, and I'm guessing it probably is 7:15 by the time he comes over there. It looks pitch black outside when he goes through the door. So I don't know. This is crazy.
Well, we know that he knows her.
Oh yeah, because he works for, well, he probably has multiple halves that he's on payroll with. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I don't think he'll sleep with her, though. Let me see if there's anything else to cover. I'm trying to think if we skipped anything. I feel like we've basically hit.
Now, Melissa, I hope that, I am looking forward to the conversation between Hannah and Melissa.
Yeah, she's not going to stop coming after me. I agree. I don't know if that doctor that she wanted to come over to check out her mental health is going to come over that night. I mean.
Well, I hope it's not the same doctor that had Amanda.
I mean, if it is the same doctor, then he'll believe anything she tells him. So that'll be the last we see of him.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep. Let's see here. Melissa, Vinnie, Mitch, Jim. We already talked about the peanut gang at the hotel. Yeah, that's about all I got in terms of major discussions, because really, there's just only so much we can talk about that hasn't been covered already. I mean, hopefully this next episode gives us some more steam, because I love how these last couple episodes have been decent, but then the previews make it look like, oh my God, we're finally going to get to this scene that I've been wanting to see ever since the trailer dropped in March. So, Yeah,
And
there's
I will say this. I will say that these last 6 episodes we've gotten were a lot better than the first 10 episodes.
no doubt. And another thing I love though is that even though like when I do these trailer breakdowns, it looks like there's only 3 or 4 important scenes we're going to get, but then Tyler Perry's just going to throw us a curveball like Veronica setting the cars on fire and stuff like that, and then the Stephanie Mills showing up, and there's just so many little things that aren't in the trailers, and I love that because it's just like I kind of know where this episode is going because I hated watching the episode live last week only because the commercial breaks allowed me to time the episode. It's like, okay, based off the preview, I know we got 2 more scenes left, and it's pretty easy to see which one is going to be where. But but then he throws us a scene I didn't see coming, and that's what keeps me intrigued.
Yeah, I like that. Like, you know, the trailer that we got in March, Pearl wasn't even in that.
No. That was another good thing. It's like, oh my God, we finally got her back on the show. So
that's what I'm saying. If Pearl can show up without warning, so can Mama Rose.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, especially because she has reason to show up too. I mean, Pearl did as well, but we've been asking for like over a year. When is Pearl going to come out of the woodworks and talk about, you know, her son having an affair and then with a man and a colored man, no less. So there's that. But let's see here. Is there anything else we haven't covered yet?
I don't think so, but I'm really hoping, you know, I'm really looking. I'm ready to see Team of Rivals right now.
Yeah,
next week.
Shoot, I mean, that's one episode that's going to be on the 26th, so we're looking at the end of the month here. But yeah, I feel like that episode is really going to keep us talking, especially I can only imagine the preview of the episode after that. I mean, based off, because I feel like the David snapping is going to be a cliffhanger. I hope he either knocks Veronica out or something, and then the cliffhanger is like...
The name of the episode after Team of Rivals is called Smitten.
Ooh, interesting. I mean, Smitten is like...
As far as I know, I don't think they've released a summary for that yet, but that'd be interesting to see what that's all about. I wonder if it's about Charles.
I'm guessing either Charles or Broderick and Katherine.
Yeah, Broderick and Katherine.
I mean, I feel like Sugar Mama is definitely
but I was looking on IMDb and they don't have Broderick listed again until like episode 28.
Good Lord. Oh, man. Did Katherine ever respond to his hi message that he sent at like 3 o'clock in the morning? I don't know.
I don't think so because, well, see, the last time we saw Broderick, it was in the right cocktail.
Yeah, when he sent that message.
The funny thing about that is they don't even have that episode even listed on the episode guide.
That's why I don't really trust IMDb because sometimes...
I don't trust it either.
Because it's literally like Wikipedia because sometimes characters will show up and they're not even listed on the freaking list for that episode. So, I don't know.
But I guess they do that so they won't
spoil. I'm guessing why. For me, that would be brilliant. But at the same time, it's just like some of these characters. It's like, okay, you tell us about your plan, but then your plan does. There's a difference between characters who have a plan, but it doesn't happen until the next season. But those characters are like in a lot of episodes versus characters who say they have a plan, then they disappear for like a dozen episodes, and then they come back. You think the plan is going to start, but then it doesn't. So they're
maybe you know, some of those plans they're working undercover because maybe Broderick is behind something that is going on now that we just don't know about.
That's true. I mean, for all we know,
I'm just looking forward to see what he's going to do because if you did, I watched the episode or the interview as well as you did that Giovanni, he said that Broderick is going to be doing something. He's going to be doing something that fans have waited to see for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And God only knows what that could be.
I know, right? So I don't even want to get into that because there's so many other unanswered questions for characters on the screen now that I want to get into or, you know, have solved or have some kind of information elaborated on. But let's see here. Yeah, the bombshell. Most of these characters are wasted. I agree, because it just goes back to all these new characters and the fact that we have these characters taking up a lot of screen time that I'm not very interested in, because it's just the same scene every single episode. But then there are characters with storylines that I want to see more stretched out on, but they don't get any screen time at all. I mean, if they do, it's only brief.
Oh yeah, I agree. And something else I wanted to run by you too. This, cause I think I mentioned this to you in the chat we were having yesterday, but not this season but probably like when the show comes back in January 2019. Okay, Candace told RK to get somebody that was rich, older, and vulnerable. Like an older woman.
Yeah.
What would be the odds that RK goes after Veronica?
That's very likely. I would see that happening because
if he doesn't leave the show, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, somebody actually made a good point. Tyler Perry films these episodes so quickly that it wouldn't surprise me if he has a series regular role on How to Get Away with Murder, but still is in the haves and the have-nots. That is very plausible, and I believe that. But
like, look at Melissa. She's doing Dear White People and the haves and the have-nots.
Oh yeah, it's just like the fact that let me think. Dear White People is like usually a little over a dozen episodes per season, but at the same time, it's a major show, and the fact that season 2 is doing so well that who knows how many episodes season 3 will be. Not to mention the length of those episodes. But also, I'm looking at the fact that Veronica being with another young man, that actually is kind of funny. The fact that if Derek doesn't want her, it's just like, okay, I tried another man around my age. He didn't want me, so let me go with this other guy. But I hope that that's mentioned in the next episode. Like, we'll have Veronica and Candace at the hotel talking, and then Candace kind of hints to RK, is like, here's a lonely, desperate, older woman that I've been telling you about. So I would love for that to happen.
Yeah, because, when she said older, lonely, desperate last week, one of my first thoughts was Veronica.
Exactly. Darlene, how did Candace get out of the game without someone killing her? That's just as ridiculous as Vinnie thinking he could return the money to loan sharks without paying interest. For people like Candace who live out on the streets, it's just like, I thought you knew the rules of this, so how can you say when you're going to quit? I mean, it's different. Maybe there's a difference for the people who are running it to say when they're ready to go. Just like, remember, Candace wanted Warlock to go legit, like leave this drug and crime life behind and get a legitimate job. When I come up, you're coming with me. So I can understand for him being the leader of it all to kind of pass it on to somebody else, but to have somebody who's an underling saying that I'm going to quit, I can see why it would be more difficult for them to leave than the person who's running the operation.
Exactly. And don't you think that Candace just getting out of the game, don't you think that was all a little bit sudden?
And because you got the money. Because remember, she technically said she was out of the game a couple episodes ago when she got that text saying that the money was in her account. That's when she told Gia, keep the money, I'm gone. But now it's like the official, okay, everybody, hear me, I'm leaving, goodbye. You're on your own. So yeah, that was a bit sudden because you haven't secured, you got the money, but now you're going to give it to your brother. And, God. Here's my thing. If they can mention Katherine's cancer after so long, can somebody please mention Benny's side effects from coming off life support?
Exactly. Then we might understand why he's making so many of these stupid decisions.
We kind of know why, because we can chalk it up to it being side effects, which we still don't even know. You know what? Let me Google it real quick. Maybe there's a side effects of coming off life support.
I don't know. I don't think it would be PTSD, but I think it would be something because we were about to find out, and Hannah interrupted the doctor before he could get it out.
I don't care if there's a chance. Take him off life support. That's it. It's just like, Hannah, I'm pretty sure you want to know about this stuff.
I wonder if Hannah is thinking. She might not be saying anything out loud, but I wonder if she's thinking, maybe this coma really did do something.
Exactly. There are just so many things that they should elaborate on that have just been swept under the rug.
Exactly.
Let's see. Some people are saying well, I mean, I'm looking at this list, but I'm trying to find anything that's relevant to Vinnie. Possibly PTSD, depression, memory loss, lose weight, nothing about making dumbass decisions like sleeping with somebody your mother's age. So yeah, you know what? Maybe he just made it up. Beats me. It's a TV show, but yeah, I hope that they elaborate on it at some point, though.
Is that on there? Clouded judgment.
Neither is taking money from loan sharks or sleeping with a pregnant woman who doesn't show and says she's been pregnant for 2 months. So there's that.
Right. What about clouded judgment? That's what that could fall under, because clouded judgment.
Yeah, I didn't see that on the list. It just said confusion. So maybe that's clouded judgment. I don't know.
I think that he is confused in a way. He needs to be, I don't know.
Beats me. But, I mean, because if anything, you would think the doctor would say, yeah, here are the side effects, so don't, mess with heavy equipment or anything, because I'm pretty sure the doctor wouldn't have been okay with Vinnie instantly driving a tow truck the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, there's so many things that they just push under the rug, but sheesh. All right. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't have anything else at the moment. I mean, if I record videos, it'll probably be tomorrow, because this live stream was like, what, hour and a half? I'm probably just going to chill the rest of the day, because...
Oh, one more thing before we do close. I think it's obvious that Erica is going to die this season, but I really do hope within like the 7 or 8 episodes that we have left, let's introduce Jim and to Erica. Let's have Jim and Erica meet, if it's only just one time.
My question is, before she dies, will David know the truth? That's one thing I want to know, because according to Veronica, she wants her to burn and to rip his heart from his soul. So, God, I mean, I guess technically 2 birds with 1 stone. If Erica is hurt or dies, that's his heart being ripped out from his soul.
What if in season 18 David snaps, or not, season 18, episode 19, Team of Rivals, David just decides to snap.
Yeah.
And he kind of like stays crazy for the rest of the season, and he finds out that Veronica was the one, that Erica and Candace were working together, and he kills her himself.
Man, that would be insane. I mean, if Katherine could have her crazy moment, the whole Jennifer and locking Veronica up in the house, David should have a moment like that too. I would actually welcome that, because every fight he's gotten in has been a legitimate fight. Like him and Vinnie going at it, then him and Jim because he thought that Veronica was dead.
Who would you say won that fight? I've always wondered. Who would you say won that fight between him and Vinnie?
I feel like David had the advantage, because Vinnie being overconfident, cocky, and underestimating an old man, because even Mitch was like, yo, man, that old dude was holding his own against you. I feel like there wasn't a clear winner, but I think if the fight would have went on, I feel like David might have won that. I mean, in this last episode, it's like, yo, man, he hitting the gym. Jim needs to take some lessons. But, yeah, David is bulkier than he appears, though.
Yeah. Well, Jim did beat up Professor Cannon's ass in the parking lot.
Man, Professor Cannon's like half his height. Come on, man.
Sheesh. And that was a stunt double anyway.
Yeah, exactly. The Bombshell. How do you feel about the show's rating dropping? They were once pulling in almost 3 million a week. Now it's 1.5. My response to that isn't just the show's quality, but also the fact that when the show first aired, in my opinion, it didn't have the same number of Tuesday night competitors that it does now, because you look at Tuesday nights, I'm just thinking in general, when I'm thinking like hashtags from Tuesday night, not just at 9 o'clock when the shows airs, but also at like 8 o'clock, you got The Flash on the CW, then Black Lightning comes on in the same time slot as the Haves and the Have-Nots. This Is Us, another big popular show. Then sometimes Dancing with the Stars is on for like their 2-night events during average week. And not to mention sporting events. So the Haves and the Have-Nots has a lot more competition on the TV than it does back in the day. But it goes back to my major complaint that the haves and the have-nots is on a network that not a lot of people have. If it was on a major network like a BET or TBS or TLC or something that everyone and their mother has, I feel like they'll be pulling in way more viewers.
Well, see, when it first started, the haves and the have-nots, it was like the ish on Tuesday. I mean, it was like the Tuesday night drama.
Then every Wednesday, there will always be the articles that will be retweeted by the cast members. Like, thanks again for making Haves and the Have-Nots number one. Every week. Every week. Even when the reruns or when they would do mini marathons out of nowhere, the Haves and the Have-Not were trending and getting high ratings. Now, bro, it ain't looking good when I look on Facebook when they release clips on the Haves and the Have-Not Facebook page. I always look at the comment section, and every week it's the same ones. It's like, this show's gotten too unrealistic. I gave up on it episodes ago. And it's the same thing. Like, if I went on Facebook right now and looked on like the last 5 clips, it would just be a slew of the same negative comments every time. And to be honest, I can't disagree with all of them because some of them do have good points. But like I said before, I've been riding this bus since episode 1. I'm not getting off until the show is over. But even when the show is over, I'm still going to talk about it. But
yeah, me too. But I do think Tyler Perry is trying his best to amp it up this season. I really do.
Yeah, it's just like he's lost a lot of.
We started out with a bang. I mean, episode 11 was great.
Yeah, it's just like he is amping it up a bit, and like we said before, these episodes without questions, even though a couple of these episodes I gave like a 7 or 7.5, I still rank them higher than the first 10. But the thing is, when a lot of people have already jumped off the train, how are you going to give them back? It's like, people that say that another problem with the haves and have-not social media, they post clips that a lot of people complain about. Like, the clips that they post are clips that really aren't some of the best scenes. Like, the whole, like, what was it? They said one of our favorite scenes from last night's episode, and you have Jeffrey and Justin going at it. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have chosen that clip to play. There were a lot of other scenes in that episode that were a lot better. I know from a...
Because think about it. If you think about it, that clip wasn't that good.
No.
But that episode itself was pretty damn good.
Until you got to that part, yes. It's just like, I get it. Like, you want to post something that will get people talking, but not in a good way. It's just, that's the bad thing. I feel like their social media needs a lot of work. The fact that they could be doing fan favorite episodes or stuff like that, or posting polls online. I feel like this show, they kind of given up on it because he's leaving, and then they're promoting all these other shows and whatnot, and that's hurting it. So that's just my thoughts.
Like, remember how in episode 11 they didn't even release the clip on Facebook?
Bro, I was like, and then they didn't even have a marathon. Some people were like, yo, they had a marathon, but it was like the last, like, episodes 8 or 9 or 10 or some crap like that. And I don't want to see that.
Like the first 3, like the last 3 episodes before that.
What they should do is when they finally bring up these things like Katherine's cancer and stuff that we haven't seen or heard about in since years ago, bring back a couple of episodes showing, oh, here's when she was going through cancer or stuff like that, or when Amanda got shot. That's what they should do.
Exactly. And I think that would, make that people want to watch it more. And then the fact that, like, how they, like, before season 11, they didn't put a clip on Facebook, and that was one of the best episodes. You think maybe them not putting a clip on Facebook for people to see might make the episode a little bit better when it actually airs?
Less predictable, because I can look at those clips and pretty much I can look at those clips combined with the preview and guess almost everything that's happening in the episode. But like I said about 45 minutes ago, I love it when Tyler Perry throws in a character that wasn't in the preview, or he throws in something that I never saw coming, because it makes me more intrigued. But I have to admit that if Loving You Is Wrong has work to do, if the rest of this season keeps up the good pacing, and I'm only talking about the episodes from May 1st to the end of July or early August. Like, I don't even want to count those first 10 episodes. But I feel like if Loving You Is Wrong picking up with that fire, maybe that season will be more intriguing than normal. So that would be great.
And I will say that I'm glad this season that Tyler Perry is picking up everything where he leaves it off.
That keeps me interested in it. That's one thing that you can't deny. The camera work, the angles, the fact that he's continuing on the story, slow pace though, but at least he's picking up where he left off each episode. So that's one big plus for me.
Like you can leave like an episode 10, an episode would in the first 10 episodes, the episodes would end and you'd be sitting there like, okay, when are we going to get to finish this story? But now you're watching it and it's like, okay, well, it's kind of a relief because it's like, okay, well, we can pick up where we left off and then maybe we can resolve a few things.
Yep. All right. Well, any other questions in the chat before we wrap up here? I feel like we covered everything unless there's a clip that gets released between now and Tuesday. But yeah, I feel like
last time I looked on Facebook, there wasn't anything.
Yeah, I remember a couple weeks ago, or for a couple of weeks, it was kind of like, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday they would release a clip every day, and I was surprised by that. But then it's like,
yeah, I am gonna check out the Black Love on Tuesday, June 9th, or not Black
Love is.
Love is. I'm sorry.
Hey, better Black Love than Colored Love. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, you got a point there. But anyway, Love is. I'm gonna check that out because I hope they keep it at 10 o'clock Tuesdays because it's gonna be nice. At 9 o'clock we can kind of, we're gonna get the haves and the have-nots. We're gonna be trying to, rattle our brains to, dissecting scenes and going over, plot points and whatnot. And then at 10 o'clock we can just kind of relax with a little romance story. We can kind of ease our minds a little bit.
Let's just put it this way. The haves and the have-nots, we deal with all these whores, dirty sex, toxic relationships. But then we can have a stable black relationship on TV, on a show that comes on right after. I'm for it. It has my 2 thumbs up of approval right then and there.
It's like, you kind of like talking about people like cheating on people and beating up people and kicking ass, and then you have this scene where you have this show where you got kissing and loving and romance and kindness and respect. You kind of ease your mind a little bit.
And what's even better is 2 African Americans who are successful in Hollywood. Like, they're starting out and then they get successful. So yeah, I'm all for it. So Love is, check it out.
If I hear another show that's getting like a 2-night premiere, I think I'm gonna fly to Atlanta and personally have a meeting with Tyler Perry himself.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. I forgot to mention this because somebody mentioned this in a video before I did the live stream. The show itself still being in 2013, but then somebody was like, wait, Jeremy, how is the show still in 2013 when Candace told Rocky Trump Nation? And I'm like, oh, that is a good point.
See, that's interesting. How can they skip?
Because Obama is still president, because that's what David told Maggie. It's like, I think this was like towards the end of season 2 where it's like, so we can have a black president, but the governor of Georgia isn't comfortable with a black governor for the state yet. It's like, how do you feel being in Jim's shadow? And then he also made the joke about, isn't there a woman that you would just lose it all, throw it all on the line for? Somebody who can lose as much as you do, you have on the line. It's like, yeah, like Michelle Obama. I love those scenes early Maggie Day.
Exactly, and it's like, a lot of things get so, as far as years go, a lot of things get so mixed up, don't they? Because it's just like, okay, Wyatt's 27 years old. They said that.
For the love of God, no. I don't want to talk character ages again. I already had that discussion. Oh my God, I don't want to do it. But yeah, when they mentioned 27, I'm like, that's a bit older than I thought, to be honest.
Because in the first episode, they said that Jim and Katherine had been married for 25 years.
Yeah, and Jim turning 50, so he was like 25 when they got hitched, so.
Yeah, it's like, how old are you now?
Bro, I don't even know. It's just like Melrose is a continuity issue. There are plenty of those in this show. I'm going to tweet Tyler Perry just to say, Can you tell me what year? I'm going to tweet him and all the stars like one tweet. What year is the show in? Because I clock it at 2013. Another thing is like, I'm not this guy because I don't feel like it. But maybe we should go back and look at the kind of phones these people are using, because they're using like a new edition of an iPhone and it's only 2013. That is completely wrong and bull crap.
And like the text showing up so heavy on the screen, like even like you've seen the show One Life to Live, right?
Sure have.
Well, Candace was in One Life to Live.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she had some kind of if I'm not mistaken, didn't she have like some kind of a flip phone or something?
Yep.
I think she did, yeah. And now she's got this and see, that show ended in 2013. And see, that ironically enough, that's when the haves and the have-nots started.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's going to be in 2013, and they're using iPhones that weren't even out in 2013.
I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things where it frustrates me, but there's nothing I can do about it because it makes no sense. Because, he's literally running for president. So, yeah, we're looking at the next guy once Obama gets out of office. So Trump Nation and whatnot, maybe Trump is running and that's why Trump Nation is something that can be thrown into conversation. Because
maybe Trump, how Oscar says that there's this guy that they're trying to, Charles, there's this super PAC that doesn't want Charles to win. They want their guy to win. What if their guy, whoever they is, what if their guy is Donald Trump? Look
out for a video on the channel, folks. It's going to be Is Trump President in the haves and the have-nots? It's coming. Oh, we're going to talk the election. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this is a crazy. I mean, we went from thinking the Malone. What if the Trumps are working for the Trump? I mean, the Malones are working for the Trump campaign. My God.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's Russia, but then there are the Malones. You better watch out.
I happen to know through tweets with the new Mama Rose, Rachel Winfrey.
Yeah.
That she does not like Trump.
Interesting.
Yeah, and do you follow her on Twitter?
Nope, I'm about to.
Yeah, you might want to go ahead and do that because, she made a comment about Trump that I won't say it out loud, but she made a comment about Trump on her page, and it's like, because she commented and we were talking, and she's like, and I'm like, well, obviously you don't like Donald Trump.
I mean, there's just so many. Oh, God. Dream Boy NYC, are the actors who play Candace and Justin still together in real life? Don't they have a kid? Do they have a kid? Yes, a beautiful young daughter. Are they still together? To my knowledge, yes. And as far as I know, they are still engaged. So,
I don't think they've gotten married yet either. I haven't seen anything even on social media.
Oh, yeah, trust and believe. I'm pretty sure we would have found out about that because anytime the stars, former or present, get married, it's on some group or on their own Instagram page. It's like War got married after he left the show. If I'm not mistaken, I know Wyatt is engaged. I don't know if he's married yet. I feel like I saw him on Instagram recent. Yeah, he is married. He did get married recently.
And I didn't know this. I couldn't believe this about Jeffrey, but Jeffrey's like 40-some years old in real life.
I know, and he has a teenage daughter too. Yeah, I was shocked. I think that was in an interview I saw a while ago, like season before last. Him and Veronica were on the show together, and I'm just like, wow, he got that baby face syndrome where he doesn't age. It's like he looks like baby face, but he does not look his age.
Exactly, and I think Mitch and Erica are still together.
Yeah, I think they're both in LA together too. Yeah.
I do too. Now I think he's going to stick around for a long. He's probably going to be on there until the show ends.
Oh, without a doubt. Let's see here. All right, folks, that's all I got. I'm ready to figure out where I want to head out. I mean, I'll check to see how hot it is outside. Probably not as hot as Alabama. I know that much. But
no, it's hot. And it's been raining down here too.
You know the one thing I hate about Sundays is like I don't realize it's Sunday until I get on the road driving, and then I see all these crappy drivers. Like, oh crap, Sunday drivers. Plus, people just got out of church too because it's almost 1:00 here. I don't know. I might go out. Well, then again, the thing about Sundays, everything opens late, but then it closes early. That's another thing I hate.
Oh, me too. And it's like, there's a good Korean restaurant down here that's not open on Sundays. It's a good restaurant, but the Koreans take Sundays very seriously, and there's a Korean church right next to the restaurant.
Yeah.
So that sucker's not open.
Yeah, and it's just like, I want to go out now, but part of me is just like, do I wear a thin jacket? Obviously, the weather says no, but when you walk into a store and it's like a freezer, it's like, man, I need to get a light jacket at best.
It just rains and rains. And yesterday we got a rainstorm that was just like, it knocked the TV out. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't do this on Tuesday when I'm watching the have and have nots, we're good.
Oh yeah, like it was a major storm here yesterday. I actually wanted to live stream last night, but it stormed for like a good 3 or 4 hours. So my God.
We got a bad storm too.
Melrose, I just looked it up. Trump announced his candidacy for presidency in 2015. That's true, but Tyler Perry could warp it around and just say that, because I was at Liberty. Like, I was still a student, and I remember being in convocation when Trump visited. This was a couple of years. This was probably like 2013, where he joked around. It's like, well, actually, he's like, you know what? I should run for the White House the next election. And people, like the media, thought of it as a joke, and then it really happened. So I don't know.
I can't even wrap my brain around how he can work time around, and how Katherine says that she's. It's like, okay, we know now that Vinnie is younger than Candace. Right?
Yep, retcon.
Well, in like the first 4 or 5 episodes, he said something about, I have to take care of my little sister. Do you remember that?
Yep, sure do.
So what in the world? And like Katherine talking about, she's 53 years. She told Hannah in the conversation she was 53 years old, and now it seems like she's. I don't even
want to. I just feel like it's one of those things where Tyler Perry just rewrote it. Either he forgot or he just purposely changed it. It's like, well, people who watched the earlier seasons probably don't remember because I don't have the show out on DVD. So yeah, people like us, we remember.
Yeah, I pay it, and I go back. There's a site called Daily Motion. You ever heard of DailyMotion.com?
One of my favorites.
Yeah, mine too. I will go back and sometimes I won't even go back and watch previous episode, like if I'm the whole episode. But if I'm thinking about a certain clip or something and doing notes for like our videos and my videos and live streams and stuff like that, I'll go back and watch a previous clip, and I will say, that's not right. This is not. That's changed, because I remember everything about. I remember. Pretty much, if you were to ask me any question about the haves and the have-nots from a previous season, I can give you the answer.
Exactly. And to think about it, it's just.
That's what, maybe, as long as this is an open discussion, maybe that's what you should do on this channel one day. Maybe we should do like a live stream, or you should do like a video with like a have and have-not trivia game.
That would be sweet. It's like prize. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Shoot.
We should do that, we should do that one of these days, because I think that'd be fun.
I feel like we can do that. I feel like it'd be a perfect plan during the hiatus before the show comes back on in January.
Yeah, let's do something like that, because I think I'd really enjoy see how much you really know about the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah, it's like now to play Family Feud, have and have not edition. I'm down. And
I'll tell you, if it's anything about Melissa, I'll know about it.
I'll be like, hey, get autographs from the people behind the channel itself. But also, I think it would be pretty cool to, I don't know. It's like I said. Oh, also, even though nobody has mentioned this on this live chat, because everybody knows, it just gets me every time I post a video or something like that, or when I do a top 10, it's like, yo, can you post that episode? No, because I got people from the show that look at this channel now that I know of. So hell no, I'm not posting full episodes. Clips I will do, because, fair use, and I give credit.
It surprised me, because I remember you said something about you did that whole video about, is Tyler Perry hiding something?
Yeah.
And your exact word, you said, if you don't like the channel, you can get the F off. I'm surprised you said that word. I've never heard you say that on a video before.
Oh, I got fed up, because after the whole was the Jeffrey and Justin scene necessary, I got a lot of flack. People was like,
because I heard you say, well, you can either, if you don't like the channel, you can just get the fuck off. And I'm like, whoa, I had to go back and rewatch that to see if you really said that.
Oh yeah, I went in. I was done.
Yeah, I know, because you know that I read the comments and talked to you. That did cause a lot of controversy, and I just that is one of that's the most I have seen this community on this channel torn in. I think ever since this started.
And to be honest, it wasn't a lot of my. I'll just call them the diehard fans, the ones who I constantly see comments from. These are people who I've never really seen frequently on my videos. It's like they might have been new to the channel or not even subscribed. They might have just seen, the hashtags and whatnot. And it's like, let me just put it this way. Number one, I knew this video was going to be controversial before I posted it due to the fact that it was about a homosexual relation. Number two, the comments didn't hurt. No, because it's social media. I don't really care. It is just annoying when people are like, you know what? You're saving yourself for marriage and you not liking this scene. It's just because you're in the closet too and stuff. I'm just like, so you literally couldn't come up with a constructive criticism because I said something that you didn't like. You instantly say that I'm gay. That's how stupid it was. That's when I'm just like.
I replied to somebody's comment. Probably I went in on. I'm not going to say the person's name, but I went in on them in your defense because. See, like me and Maya Jones and Candace T and Melrose One and people like that, we know you. We love your channel. We love your videos. We love having discussions with you.
Yeah.
But it's just like people who have never, are not even on the channel, get off. You have no right to be here if you don't. I mean, no, we're not forcing you to be here.
Exactly. It's just like those people who complain about something. And again, it goes down to the diehard fans that respond. Some people check people before I even see a comment, because sometimes I'll get a notification. It's like, here we go. Let me click on this notification to see what this stupid comment is. And then I'll see 2 or 3 people that already jump on there. Like, I think Dominique Yancey is another one. She's not against telling people, it's like, yo, he doesn't post videos because of copyright. Like, he doesn't post full episodes. Because it just is annoying that I have to address it. I just stopped doing it, to be honest. Because, I mean, I love those people who are like, you know what? I subscribe to this channel thinking that I would see these episodes you talk too much. Yeah, I do a lot of talking on a YouTube channel that's about reviews. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I like that you do a lot of talking because you're breaking it down. Somebody, like I think in your Aaron Boy episode review video, that somebody said something about, well, I can't believe you rated this a 9 out of 10. You lost all credibility with me, and I commented. I don't know if you remember, but I commented back to him, and I'm like, well, you know what? Go somewhere else and just suck up somebody else's channel. Go find you something else.
I find it hilarious because it's an opinion, and I think in the video I did about Tyler Perry has telling us something in the writing, it's like I think I even pinned a comment to the top of the comment section. Like, first of all, in nowhere in this video did I say Tyler Perry is gay. Even if he is, I don't give a damn because I separate the person from his work. So yeah, I just wanted, on that video, I didn't care what the comments say because I know for a fact in the video I pointed out that it's not about offending anyone. This is my personal opinion. And it is very true that there are shows out there that are way more graphic. But guess what? I don't watch them. So for me, that was pretty, ridiculous scene, because when I went back and watched it a few times, I was literally laughing out loud because of the camera work and the facial expressions. But when I first saw it, I'm like, yo, this wasn't necessary to the story. Like, Veronica walking in on them kissing, yes, but the over-exaggerated scenes of I'm clearly, busting a load, I just want to, hey. But I didn't really need to see that. But I don't know.
I'm surprised that did Justin video get flagged? Because I'm surprised you named it. When will Justin finally admit that he's gay?
No, it actually didn't. Three of my videos yesterday did get flagged for review, but luckily enough, in less than 12 hours, they were approved for monetization. That was the Veronica believing that her son is gay, Jeffrey leading Justin on, is Candace out of the game for good. All of those got flagged, but then they got.
Why would they get flagged? I don't understand why those would. Maybe the Veronica one, but like Candace being out of the game. I don't understand why
See, people ask me this sometimes because sometimes it really does annoy me when I do it to myself, where I post a bunch of videos online at once, because it's just like, am I saturating the channel? YouTube's notification thing is wonky, so will people even get notified that I'm posting like a bunch of videos at once? Sometimes I know for a fact I do it because of the monetization, because sometimes when I post like 1 or 2 videos, YouTube hasn't been as bad over the past month or so, but sometimes when I post like 1 or 2 videos, they'll instantly get marked for the monetization. Then I gotta put in a request to have them reviewed, and then sometimes within a day or so they get approved. So it's like, if I list a bunch of videos at once, YouTube won't flag them, a bunch at one time. But yesterday they did 3, but then they released them, so I don't really know. That was weird. I was surprised.
Well, good. I don't know why sometimes. Now, I will say most of the time I do get the notifications, but there have been times that I won't get a notification, and I'll be like, oh my goodness, you released that video? Like, I'll get the notification, but it'll be like a week later, because see, what I do is I will go on the channel and look at the videos.
Yep.
Every so often and see if you posted a new one, because now most of the time I do get the notifications, but there are some that I do miss.
Oh yeah, that's a YouTube thing, because I mean, there are a bunch of channels I watch, and the first thing that people will say when they're doing the videos like, don't only subscribe but hit the bell notification icon, because YouTube has been wonky with videos. Like, it sucks, it really does. But I mean, I put the videos out there, and like I say, when I look at my analytics page and I break down how people find the videos, most people find the videos from the watch page. So they go on there to watch, because Twitter and Facebook helps in Instagram, but the YouTube watch page is where you definitely want to go, because there are videos about just about everything to cover on the show. But
exactly.
I digress. I mean,
what amazes me and what annoys me is that, I don't think any of my videos have been flagged yet, but
that's because you haven't been monetized yet. It's only when you get YouTube changed it where you got to have at least 10,000 hours of watch time on your channel and 1,000 subscribers. Then you get approved monetization. Then the real flagging comes from that. Like on my second channel, which I haven't done anything on because, YouTube tripping, I will get like flagged for like, photos and crap from the CW because they suck. That's why I rarely do Flash content. But I don't get fined or anything. They'll just like block a video or some crap like that. But yeah, it's really when you get monetized, that's when you start getting those flags and removed and all this other bull crap. But yeah,
it just amazes me how you can post videos and they get flagged, and then these people that are posting full episodes on their channels are just still out there doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it is what it is. But hey, as long as I mean, the fact that I got some credibility from these cast members who watch my videos, that's enough for me. Because when Derek private messaged me on Instagram, I was like, what the heck? I was like, wait a minute, is this a fake account? And then I'm like, no, this is the real dude. So
well, I think he's a pretty down to earth guy myself.
Shoot.
And I think that Vinnie is a pretty down to earth guy.
Oh yeah, it's just like pretty much every cast member that I've talked with, which is pretty much just about everybody, seem very down to earth. And then you just see like their Instagram live stories and whatnot. Yeah, they seem really chill. And the interviews,
and
like
Antoinette seems down to earth too. I was talking to her and she sent me back something that said thank you and had a bunch of hearts around it, and I'm like, well, sorry about your luck, Jeremy, but she's mine now.
Bull crap, she does that to me all the time. Ha, I got screenshots, sucker. But yeah, I mean, these are the kind of, because I think Derek, I asked him a few interview style questions. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. It was just like, because number one, I didn't ask for spoilers, because number one, I knew he couldn't tell me. But I just asked, like, what was it like, entering a show in its 5th year with a cast that's, very well versed, like they're already a strong unit. And he sent me an answer. Let me get it here. Oh, it's been a dream come true. I was really embraced like a member of the family. It was definitely a wonderful experience to be around such a professional, such a down-to-earth group of individuals. Very.
Is what you were talking to on Twitter?
Instagram, DM. So yeah, because I was just like, bro, that is amazing. And also, I asked him, like, what was it like being freaking front stage Stephanie Mills? He was like, it was incredible. And it's like, I cannot stop watching her live performances from like Sinbad, Summer Jam, and Showtime at the Apollo, because there are a few singers that can like scream or holler, but it's wonderful, and she's one of them. Like, oh my God, just
Exactly. I loved her, and I watched that scene over and over. And can you believe that on IMDb they only have Derek listed in like one episode?
again, I don't. It's ridiculous. I can't even.
And I'll tell you how twisted it is on IMDb with RK. They don't have him listed in the haves and the have-nots.
That's why I've got his name. That's why I've got his name wrong so many times. I didn't get his last name first name or character name until I was able to screenshot the end credits of an episode, and it's like R.K. Thank God, because they never showed him. Never showed him.
The crazy thing about it is they don't have him listed for the haves and the have-nots TV series.
No.
But they do have him listed in the haves and the have-nots stage play that Tyler Perry did back in 2011.
I know, right? It's just weird.
How crazy is that?
I know, right? I don't know what they're doing. It's crazy how they got all that stuff listed. But anyway, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. It's been over 2 hours, but it's been a solid discussion. At least for the, hour and 52 minutes. The first 8 minutes, the sound was wonky. But thanks for tuning in. I think I got maybe 3 or 4 more videos in me before next Tuesday. I mean, I literally cannot wait for this episode.
I love the video about Derek and his father being the one with the lion tattoo, and the episode review. I liked all those videos, and I like the way you break it down. No, you don't talk too much, I don't think.
I mean, I really don't care. I let people know ahead of time. Sometimes I'll let them know at the beginning of the video, like, yo, strap yourselves in because this is going to be a long one, because those videos usually are the ones that are unscripted. Like, there are a couple bullet points, but I know for a fact I'm going to end up breaking it down by mentioning stuff from various episodes, various seasons. So if you aren't ready to sit down, I mean, if you don't want to listen this long, then you ain't got to comment, you ain't got to watch. It's like, I don't really care what you say, because there are YouTubers out here who talk in every video, unless they're doing some kind of like a sketch video or whatever. But I really don't care. I mean, it is what it is. But
and I am looking forward to next week's episode. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. I think that we'll get. I think it'll be good.
Yes, indeed. I hope that they release clips. Maybe they'll release a clip between Veronica and Derek. Not too much info, but I would love to actually get to the scene where she walks over to him and puts her arm around him. That I would like. And then they just cut it off.
Sometimes I'm happier, to be honest with you. I mean, I do like it when they release clips. But sometimes I'm happier when they don't, because that keeps us in suspense and gives us a lot more to look forward to, really. And we can't really predict like we think we can.
Yep. Dream Boy Jeffrey hit Wyatt with a golf club, not a shovel. And yep. So I'm about to figure out what I want to eat. I haven't eaten all day. I think I ate some cereal, but that was it. So thanks so much.
I'm gonna go eat me some chicken and waffles.
Yeah, I mean, KFC's right up the street. I mean, so is Bojangles, but I mean, I could get a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit and a drumstick. I'll figure it out. But thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Chandler, awesome discussion as always, and try to keep cool if you can.
I'll try. It's hot.
All right, man. I'll tweet you later. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. It was a great discussion, literally over 2 hours. So stay tuned on the channel. If I probably won't upload another video today, but I've uploaded like 16 yesterday. So share my videos around, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you soon.